know you couldn't keep your eyes off that girl in the white bathing suit the other day.
What girl? I wasn't looking at anybody. I only have eyes for you, Sylvia.
Promise.
Yeah.
So the Golden Age couple that you saw in the late 1950s was actually pulled from an idea from watching a bunch of archival Miami advertisements that were pulling tourists down to the city to come to the beach and take a big road trip down south to Florida.
I'm beginning to think Miami is a strange city.
What is it like if you come to the city to experience that myth of, you know, this glamorous lifestyle?
I need
Popcorn chips! Oh, Steve! You promised! Steve! Steve!
And what happens when you get involved with the reality of, you know, the kind of underbelly of the gambling and the vices of the city at the time that might pull you in a different direction.
I lost the car, Sylvia.
You lost the car.
The game was rigged!
When you see an immersive piece of theater that's very environmental, where you walk around and you have the ability to opt in and out of particular vignettes, you're not going to have the same experience as anybody else who is around you. The participant is also a part of the experience, and they're making the experience happen by just simply being present in the room.
We work with Avra Jane, who's the owner of this building. She's a developer. She's also behind really the resurrection of what Biscayne Boulevard is to come. She's bringing the hotel back to its original name, the Gold Dust, and they're providing us with basically a theatrical space where we can tell the story of that neighborhood. When you look at the outside of the hotel, we're not trying to hide that it's actually in renovation right now. So that is part of the story. The building is actually another character in the story. And if you look at the outside of the building, what's interesting right now is the developer and ourselves are actually sort of peeling away the layers of the hotel at the same time. So we've been watching the progression of all of this happen while we're doing this play, and it's kind of mirroring each other in a really beautiful way. You should really leave here having a really grounded understanding of everything that happened on the boulevard from 1957 to now. We can't go back, right? I mean, the boulevard is changing, it's progressing. It's great that we can archive that information through Miami Motel Stories.
A little over 3 months ago, before getting clean, I spent 10 years of my life in the street. But I live here now at the Gold Dust Motel. By the grace of God and the city, I'm part of this rehabilitation program. They paid my rent for 6 months, trying to find me a job. I'm doing everything right.
The Cecil character is a character who exists in a much more recent era. So he's someone that we really wanted to represent because there was a time where there were a lot of people living on the boulevard in motels in this much more permanent way. So their homes were their homes, but they were also kind of given to them by another entity, and there's a sort of power struggle there to look at.
When you make promises, directly or indirectly, promises that are lies.
I saw you 5 minutes after walking into the club. I couldn't keep my eyes off of you. I stopped being a cop, no longer worked for the club the minute I saw you. I was there, and there were you. And that was it for me. I mean that stuff.
The third scene that you saw is the bunny scene. That's, you know, the mid-60s is when sort of like we're reaching the peak of the heyday of the boulevard, and a very prosperous time that then moved into, you know, a sort of downward spiral time in the end of the 1960s and leading into the 70s, where there became a lot of moments of prostitution and drug trafficking and things that were sort of about to erupt on the boulevard. We also wanted to capture the storytelling of the building across the street that's now an auto shop that used to be the Playboy Club. And so many people have so many stories about that club over the decades and their interactions with that space.
Stella, I like you.
How could you do this to me?
Stella.
Matt, is that even your real name? Did you lie about that too?
That's my name.
So you were there at the club to do what? To set me up?
My character is a cop, and he's on a kind of a stakeout. He's trying to see if the girls are being good. So I'm trying to figure out if I flirt with them a little bit, if they'll go home with me. If they say yes, they're getting fired.
Do you like being used? Because it seems to me you don't understand what it is you're doing to us. To me, you're using us, toying with us.
My understanding is that the girls know the rules. My character then takes this Playboy bunny to his hotel room because he has legitimately fallen in love with her.
How does one flirt without flirting? We're not robots. I'm not a trained dog. She's really going through it. She really thought this was real. She's had a hard life, and all of a sudden this is just one more of those things that could break her, both personally and career-wise, because she doesn't know if she's going to lose her job now. She doesn't know if she's walking away from her potential husband. We do have a secret happy ending that is not in the script. In the script, Stella leaves. And I just looked at my director. I was outside, she was standing out there, and I said, "Can I please just run back to the room?" And she was like, "Go for it." And I was just so happy because it was all I wanted was for Stella to have a happy ending.
And that's only to get her back.
Yes, so it's really just the function of me getting back to the room so that we can do our reset and get ready for the next audience, because we only have, from the moment I leave the room until the moment the next audience member walks in this door, is maybe 1 minute and 30 seconds, maybe. I've done a lot of other interactive theater, but this is so different. It's just,
it feels real.
It's raw.
Yeah, it's raw.
It's interesting having people in here because it's such an intimate scene. Maybe if I were the audience member walking in on something that intimate, I'd be like, "Oh, this is uncomfortable." But I think that's a part of what becomes so interesting about it. It makes them a part of this experience, this memory, as we're seeing it. People have talked about just how different stories connect to them and how much it maybe kind of reflects a little bit of their own life in a way or something like that. And I think that's beautiful too, and that's what's amazing about how art merges with reality and history, is that you can get a personal connection to someone, to a historical thing through art, and that's something that nothing else can do.